Hi everyone, this is Travis from Louisville, Kentucky. Zone 6B/7. Just want to thank everybody for tuning in to this week's garden tour. This is going to be our July garden tour, part 1. Russian sage is finally getting color, the blue. I don't know my camera will focus. There we go. So this was a new project that I worked on this spring, was transplanting the Russian sage in a ring here in the front. In the middle are Mexican sunflower. Now these, I don't know what it is this year, but usually these have already started blooming. But everything's kind of, I don't know, a week or two behind, I feel like. But it's been a weird year anyway. Blanket flower, still going strong. Gotta keep these spent flowers, that promotes new fresh blooms. Of course the aster will be purple this autumn. Marigolds. This is a coreopsis. Really looking good. I really like this variety, and I plan on putting more in here eventually. I usually do my garden tour in the morning, but I thought I would do it this evening because we have overcast. I'm hoping it's not too dark. This is still a work in project over here. Still have lots of weeds to pull. That's a never-ending job. And I plan on mulching this real good. Just money is a situation right now, which I'm sure most of us are facing financial issues thanks to COVID. This is the big ears, lamb's ear. This variety does not bloom, but it still gives me that silvery gray foliage, which I like. And this was divided from the plant I had in the back. Each piece was so, and that was only a year old, so you can kind of get an idea how far it spreads and how fast it grows. If you look back this spring on a garden tour of this bed here, you'll see how small they started out. It was just little pieces. So a nice bang for your buck. Lamb's ear. Annabelle hydrangeas. Not sure what the deal was with these. This is the first year that they had buds on them, but each cluster only had 5 or 6 blooms on it. So I was asking a garden friend on YouTube her opinion. I didn't know if maybe they don't get enough sun here or what the deal is. But I'm really hoping next year they have really nice blooms on them. The yellow here is a potentilla. I don't know if you guys can see those blooms. Potentilla. There's 2 others in here. There and there, but I'm not sure what the deal was with those. Another hydrangea. I want to say this one's maybe Bobo, because it kind of looks like the Bobo on the side of the house. But this was under the maples back in the backyard, and I moved it up here. It's doing a lot better. It really likes a little bit more sun. And minus the weeds. Here is a Weigela. Giving me that maroon foliage. Alright, on to the front beds. I don't know if I mentioned in the last video that the Japanese beetles did a number on my roses. So Sevin Dust is what I use. You can get it at Home Depot or Lowe's. Really good stuff. Keeps them away. I don't see any on here at all now. So they could probably use a good little haircut. But if you have any kind of Japanese beetle problem on your roses, definitely use the Sevin Dust. Autumn Joy Sedum is really shooting up. Now if I wanted to, see, even by now, this time of year, they should have had bigger flowers on them by now. So everything's kind of a little slow, but that's okay. We'll have more interest in the fall or in later summer. But what I was saying was, if I was to cut these back a few weeks ago, when they do get their heads on them, they won't flop over and sprawl out. They'll kind of stay more compact, which I'm sure a lot of you know that. Marigolds in the front, as well as the blue salvia, Victoria blue salvia. I mention it in almost every video, I think, but it's a must-have for the front. Kind of a weird thing about this, in my situation anyway, is the ones in the front border here, they don't come back for me every year. I have to replant them. But the ones, I'm trying not to make you guys sick, the ones in this bed, they come back. They make it through the winter. So I don't know if it's the trees or what that are kind of giving them more protection. Coral Bell. This part of the knockout rose looks really good. Can't go wrong with the knockout rose. Just look at all those blooms and how compact it is. Okay, what's new this week that's blooming? Oh, the Limelight hydrangeas. Which even those, usually they have started blooming by now. They're just starting. So probably next week's video they'll be in bloom. So I hope you guys have had a good 4th of July weekend. Hope everybody stayed safe. Just want to take a moment to thank everyone fighting for our freedoms that we take for granted every day. So thank you guys so much for your service. This is the blue Victoria. And this is the lamb's ear here that has the blooms, which I need to come through and cut them off because they're over with. But all these were just pieces of the main plants that I had in the back And you can tell if you look back on this spring's videos how small these were. So I can't say enough about lamb's ear. Definitely a must-have for me. Yellow knockout rose got hit bad with the beetles, but it's coming back. Barberry, love that burgundy foliage. Look how gorgeous this one is. I don't know how good that's coming out on the camera, but really pretty. The Pinky Winky hydrangea tree is coming back. Not as a tree, but as a shrub. I'm not really sure what the deal with that was, but you can see last year how it was a tree. So I need to cut that out of there. But I am excited to see that something's coming back on it. This is just the inside of the garden, but I wanted to show you real quick the limelight that is just starting. Can you see how tall they've grown this year? I mean, they are almost covering the windows. So this is their third season. And you know what they say when you plant something, the first year they sleep, the second year they creep, and then the third year they leap. And this is their third year, and they are leaping towards the sky. Yes, this kind of bugs me a little bit because I don't like things covering the windows, but if I cut them now, I'll lose my blooms. And no offense, if these guys didn't have their blooms, they would not be here. They are gorgeous. Crepe myrtle, I'm not sure if this guy's gonna bloom this year. I don't know if that late frost got it or what's going on. Actually, I just shut my big mouth and get closer. It's got buds on it. Ajuga ground cover. One of my favorite ground covers. Probably is my favorite. Besides the sedum. This lantana, I got a gold one and a pink one. And usually by now they are huge. They've taken over. So I just realized that I had bought the container variety. So I'm thinking that's the reason they're not taking off and going crazy. Blooms coming back out on the David Austin roses. And this beauty is the Bobo. Hydrangea Bobo. Gorgeous. Russian sage. I really should have cut this guy back this spring or fall. These are my burgundy sunflowers. They've got some buds on them, but they've not bloomed yet. So I'm still really excited to see those. There's that other lantana. Black-eyed Susan. I believe this is an Annabelle. Which had huge blooms on it. They're kind of dying down now. The best planter I've got this year. I only planted my whiskey barrels, but did a red, white, and blue theme in this one. Boy, have the vegetables taken off. We have gotten all kinds of squash. Even today, I need to pick these. But it is squash season. So, I've gotten all kinds of those. I've got more plants in the back. We'll go around this way. Tomatoes. I was told that these are the best. They're Celebrity. I don't eat a lot of tomatoes, so that's just one person's opinion. But I was told that they were really good. Lots of tomatoes. And they look really healthy. Again, this was another project this year, our potager garden, which is right outside the kitchen, and it contains vegetables, herbs, and flowers. If you notice, there's a border of zinnias all around it, the edge. In the spring, it was tulips. Also in here we have the green beans. Does anybody know when I'm supposed to pick them? I've got some learning to do. But if you know, let me know in the comments, if you don't mind, when the best time is to harvest them. I've got the bush green beans, as well as pole beans. I need some more 7 dust. You can see the Japanese beetles are on these now. Cucumbers have gone crazy. I just can't pick them fast enough. And a lot of them have just gotten too big to eat. I heard if they get too big that they're not really that great. Cilantro is probably going to seed soon. I didn't use this for flowers, I didn't use it for cooking, but I like the flowers on it. That wildflower, the Lacey Phacelia, it's just finishing up, and zinnias will be the new flower in here. Got thyme, rosemary, or no, this is rosemary, oregano, dark opal, I think it's called, basil, mullein, dill is in bloom now. Love this. Looks like little fireworks. Again, not growing it necessarily for food or cooking. I just really like the flowers. And I will probably spread the seed throughout the garden beds too. I don't know, I like it. You might be able to hear the thunder in the background. It's supposed to rain this evening. Sage. And last but certainly not least, are pumpkins. You guys know I love my pumpkins. And we've got one. I'll slide on over here. This is the only other planter I did this year. I just stuck Proven Winners. Oh, what is that? Anyway, that, and this is a moonflower vine. Training it to grow up the gutter. And this is a rose. Alright guys, so I'm going to end this video here. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you in part 2 of our July garden tour.